When upgrading an electrical service at a pole while needing to retain existing receptacles, there are a few viable options to consider. Firstly, the use of a subpanel. This involves installing a new subpanel adjacent to the upgraded main breaker box on the pole. A feeder wire is run from the main breaker box to this subpanel, with the breaker and the main panel sized appropriately for the anticipated load on the subpanel. The subpanel itself should have a main breaker that is connected to the incoming feeder wire. Finally, the existing 40 amp box, along with any additional receptacles, are connected to this new subpanel. This approach has the advantage of not disrupting the existing receptacles at the pole. However, it does require the purchase and installation of additional wiring and the subpanel itself. Secondly, the utilization of a meter socket is an alternative. In this scenario, the existing 40 amp box on the pole is replaced entirely with a meter socket. A main breaker box is then installed next to the meter socket, and it is connected to the feeder wire. A new meter is installed within the meter socket. Similar to the first option, the existing 40 amp box, as well as any new receptacles, are connected to this new main breaker box. This method maintains the 40 amp service specifically for the receptacles at the pole. The primary disadvantage is that it necessitates replacing the existing 40 amp box with a meter socket. Thirdly, consider running a new circuit directly from the building panel. Here, a new circuit is run from the 200 amp main breaker box located within the building, extending out to the pole. At the pole, a subpole is installed, and it is connected to this new circuit. The existing 40 amp box and any desired additional receptacles are then connected to this newly installed subpanel. This method allows for potential future expansion of circuits originating from the building panel. The drawback is that it requires running a new circuit, which includes the cost and effort of wiring and conduit, and it requires installing a subpole at the pole. To summarize the advantages and disadvantages of each. Firstly, for the subpole option, the primary advantage is that it does not disrupt the existing receptacles. A disadvantage is that it requires additional wiring and the purchase and installation of a subpanel. Secondly, for the meter socket option, the advantage is it maintains a dedicated 40 amp service for the receptacles at the pole. The disadvantage is it requires replacing the existing 40 amp box with a meter socket. Thirdly, for the new circuit option, the advantage is it allows for future expansion of circuits from the building panel. The disadvantage is it requires running a new circuit and installing a subpanel at the pole. The selection of the most suitable option hinges on the specific needs and requirements of the particular situation. Factors such as the anticipated load on the receptacles, the distance between the building and the pole, and the budget available for the upgrade should all be taken into account. Regardless of the chosen option, it is strongly recommended to consult with a licensed electrician to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable electrical codes and safety regulations. The electrician can assess the existing conditions, calculate the appropriate wire sizes and breaker ratings, and ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation. They can also help determine if the existing service is adequate for the additional load. When dealing with electrical work, safety is paramount. Always to energize circuits before working on them and use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to leave the work to a qualified electrician. Remember that electrical codes vary depending on the location. It is essential to adhere to local codes to ensure a safe and compliant installation. For example, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for electrical installations in the United States. These guidelines cover various aspects of electrical wiring, including wire sizes, overcurrent protection, grounding, and bonding. Grounding and bonding are critical for electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of the electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of electrical shock. When installing a subhull, it is important to properly ground and bond the subhull enclosure. This typically involves connecting a grounding electrode conductor from the subhull to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. The subpole enclosure should also be bonded to the grounding electrode conductor. Overcurrent protection is another important aspect of electrical safety. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. When selecting overcurrent protection devices, it is important to choose devices that are appropriately sized for the circuit. The size of the overcurrent protection device should not exceed the ampacity of the circuit conductors. Wire size is also important for electrical safety. The size of the wire should be sufficient to carry the anticipated load without overheating. The NEC provides tables that specify the ampacity of different wire sizes. When selecting wire size, it is important to consider the ambient temperature and the number of conductors in a raceway or cable. Directing factors may need to be applied to the ampacity of the wire to account for these factors. Conduit is often used to protect electrical wiring. Conduit can be made of metal or plastic. Metal conduit provides better protection against physical damage and is often required in certain applications. Plastic conduit is less expensive and easier to install, but it is not as durable as metal conduit. When installing conduit, it is important to properly support and secure the conduit. The NEC provides guidelines for supporting and securing conduit. Electrical boxes are used to enclose electrical connections. Electrical boxes can be made of metal or plastic. Metal boxes are more durable and provide better protection against physical damage. Plastic boxes are less expensive and easier to install. When installing electrical boxes, it is important to properly support and secure the boxes. The NEC provides guidelines for supporting and securing electrical boxes. Receptacles are used to provide a convenient source of power for electrical appliances and equipment. Receptacles are available in a variety of configurations. The most common type of receptacle is the duplex receptacle, which has two outlets. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are used to protect people from electrical shock. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults and interrupt the circuit before a shock can occur. GFCIs are required in certain locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. When installing GFCIs, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Lighting is an important part of any electrical system. Lighting can be used to provide illumination for tasks, as well as to create a desired ambience. There are many different types of light fixtures available. The type of light fixture that is best for a particular application will depend on the specific needs of the application. Switches are used to control lighting and other electrical equipment. Switches are available in a variety of configurations. The most common type of switch is the single-pole switch, which controls one light fixture or outlet from one location. Three-way switches are used to control one light fixture or outlet from two locations. Four-way switches are used to control one light fixture or outlet from three or more locations. When installing switches, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. The electrical system should be inspected regularly to ensure that it is in good working condition. Any damaged or worn component should be replaced immediately. A qualified electrician should perform electrical inspections.